There truly is nothing better than a masterclass performance. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here from Fact Dubin 2. Have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Another fun fact. Here we are to do a breakdown / live action review to chapter 57. Yeah, 57 of Ichi the Witch of this guy. So of course, you know I gotta. Come on, now you know we gotta pre-try this week every Ichi week. So I'm very, very excited. Obviously, last chapter was kind of Uro just flexing on Kizashi, and at least on this first page alone, it looks like we're getting some Kizashi backstory. So hopefully, what is that in my? Hold on. That looks too. Jeez. Jeez. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I need to get a comb. Do I have a comb in here? Hold on a second. Ugh. I know this is a pick, not a comb, but still, hold on. Jeez. I know I need a cut. Don't get on my case just yet. I need to wait a little bit. I need a little bit. Hold on. Jeez. I already know the top. I know my hair's thin, but golly. But that'd be the case. Where was I? I was Kizashi back stuff. Should I cut that? Nah, we'll leave it. So essentially, last chapter was an Uro masterclass, right? But admittedly, I was kind of disappointed that Kizashi was doing nothing. I understand why he shouldn't. This is ultimately just hype for Uro, where we're doing a lot of like retroactive continuity. Well, not retroactive continuity. We're doing a lot of updating of where Uro should be in the universe. So one of the 7 stars, Uro was respected enough by the world hater for him to actually acknowledge him. Obviously, Uro should be bullying Kizashi, but I hope Kizashi gets to do something. They have a really cool ability. And like, honestly, I'm still low-key hoping that there's going to be some trick or some twist to how he gets captured. I hope Ichi doesn't have access to him, at least not immediately. Not saying that I could expect Ichi to control him, though, now that we know how it works, right? It's possible that, well, how special is Uro? There's so many questions raised by last chapter, right? So, like, the main thing I'm wondering, right? The main reason I wasn't so cool with the idea of Ichi even getting Chrono Weaver was the same reason I brought up Forever Ago when we first got introduced to Chrono Weaver. That's a lot of power to give to our main character very, very early on. And don't get me wrong, I love Ichi being big, jacked, and juicy, but, like, we ain't even 100 chapters deep. We're gonna give the boy time powers? That seemed a little bit too much. But then, we got introduced to Kizashi. But then Kizashi was revealed to have gamma powers and explosions. And that actually does make sense with the Aqua stuff based on like gamma testing, stuff like that. But of course, that's still a whole lot of power to give Ichi. But now we know that, well, at least it's weird. We don't know if Bakugami can do it. Like, maybe Bakugami can also resist Ichi, but they kowtow pretty quickly. And so far, no other magic other than Uro's resisted Ichi. But with the whole idea that magics and witches, like, their power levels do interact, it's possible that we could get Kizashi. Kizashi could become a part of Ichi, but he can't actually use him properly. We'd have to make contract with Kizashi. So that'd be interesting. Maybe that's the way we balance it. It's either that or... Oh, but here's another thing. Someone clarified to me, the prophecy magic doesn't actually have a magic circle. Or at least that doesn't seem to be the case. They pointed out how ultimately it's Jiki Shirone's magic circle. She's just stored in there. It's like a weird person inside a person. It's like, imagine if your conscious went inside your subconscious. Essentially, that's what happened with Jiki Shirone. When the prophecy magic took over her body and made her wake up, quote unquote, she became the dominant conscious, and essentially Jiki Shirone herself became the subconscious and is stored inside the magic circle. It doesn't imply that magics themselves have magic circles, so I don't even think Uro could capture Kizashi, or could obtain Kizashi, and then like hold him in his own magic circle, and then the only way Ichi would get access to Kizashi is if he got access to all of Uro, and then bada big bada boom. There is that skilled level there. However, with that being the case, even if Kizashi gets captured, with the way that it's set up, it's highly likely that he still won't listen to Ichi. He would only listen to Uro if Uro was like, hey, do it. Obey. Like that's probably the only thing, and obviously Uro's not going to do that for Ichi. So there still is a possibility of us getting extremely powerful magic super duper early on, but them still being like endgame tier combatants that we aren't going to see Ichi use until he's much, much, much stronger. So overall, that's fine. And I'm excited. Let's not waste more time. Let's hop right. Oh, what was the other thing? There's one other thing from last shout that someone pointed out in the comments I want to give highlight to. What was it? Not just the magic circle thing. Oh, the fish. Someone pointed out that the fish, the koi fish from the last chapter, could actually be a case of Uro having access to a magic that he controls and he knows because he's the master of all magics, right? Or the master of all magics in this world, right? He very specifically says master of all magics. And we know magics taught humans magic through the whole like trial system, and we know there are generic spells. So we saw Uro use Lazud, which Ichi used all the way back in chapter 1 to destroy that forest, which he then restored with Partheon. So it could be one of those cases where even if he doesn't have the magic itself, since he knows Lazud, since he knows Partheon, he could manifest the origin of that magic, and that's what that koi fish could have been. Or it's possible that there could have been adventures off screen, but I feel like so far we've been kind of following the cast very closely, very strictly. I don't think it's implied that Ichi had another adventure where he could have gotten the koi fish, so that could just be Uro's mastery over magic taking form in the form of the magics. Because notably, the magics don't even take like an actual proper form at the end of the last chapter. They're very ethereal, as if Uro himself isn't even actually using their powers, but rather using their magic, if that makes sense. And that magic in its ambient state takes the form of the magics they originated from. So that fish could be Lazud, that fish probably not Partheon because he didn't use it. So like, if most likely, if anything, that fish is meant to represent Lazud, which would be interesting. I'm not sure why a koi fish would represent like piercing through all, but unless that has something to do with like the fish, just something about fish becoming dragons, like piercing through. I don't know. Once again, I didn't get the whole correlation between an octopus and gamma energy, but people point out that there actually is a thing in like I think specifically Japan, but just a thing in general where octopi do have like direct ties to like energy testing. So let's waste more time. Let's hop right into chapter 57. Love and hate. Sorry, I was like thinking, what is Kizashi's voice? I was about to voice him as babies on. But then again, look. So they do age. So are they immortal or not? I mean, like, they can't. Well, like, it seems like they're immortal, because Chrono Weaver's old. Like, Uro knows him, and he doesn't even respect Uro enough to call him King Uro. Obviously, the World Hater seems pretty old, but then again, so is there a baby World Hater? Because this is the second time we've seen a Magic in, like, a baby state. And note, he says manifested, not even born. When I first manifested, I made a friend right away. So, like, how does this work? How does this work? We're gonna fight a need. Yo. I don't know what happened. I don't know what, I mean, I think it's like a combination of things. I think it's because, okay, this is gonna sound really weird. I was playing Silk Song, and I got to like a certain cutscene in Act 1. I don't know the full context. Please don't spoil Silk Song. But so I think I had that, and I had like higher beings on the mind just because like Hollow Knight lore. And then obviously I reviewed Four Nights and Heavenly Sins that day, and then there was something else that triggered it. And like, I own a lightsaber. Currently, at the time of recording, Halloween just passed. A friend of mine needed to borrow a lightsaber, so I gave them a lightsaber. So I had that on my mind. So that was part of the dream for some reason. And then like all those came together. My subconscious was like, "Hey, here, have this very oddly specific nightmare of you specifically fighting a higher power." And I was like, "Why? Why?" And like it was completely disconnected too. Like the whole initial night. I'm sorry, I'm going on a complete tangent here, but I just want to mention it because I will forget it eventually. But I do want to have it down somewhere. The nightmare started with somehow, some way, I had my lightsaber in the back of my car for some reason, and then someone unlocked my car and took the lightsaber. So I got out of the car, I chased them. There's like a whole little chase section in the dream, and then I caught them, got the lightsaber back, and then somehow, some way, I like turned into Bond for some reason. Like literally, I don't know. I think like I'm not sure if I went like the perspective change. Like I was me in my own body, and then suddenly I was like with Bond, and then Bond was like running somewhere, but for some reason he was in like New York City, and then like he ran, and then for some reason there was like some like higher godly power. It wasn't even chaos, mind you. Like it was just some weird thing. Like I don't even fully know what it was. Like it was like some weird thing, and like Bond was supposed to run in like this certain specific area to not trigger that. Like it was like a big bad boss fight or something, and then like trigger the boss fight, insta-loss, then I was me again, then, like, my parents were there, and then they went out to fight the big bad boss, and, like, got diffed, then I went out to fight the big bad boss, got diffed, and then I didn't even wake up then, there was just, like, this weird void point they don't fully remember, and then suddenly, bada bing, bada boom, I was awake. I don't know! I have no idea. I don't know why it was Bond in particular, like, I have no clue. But with it being the case, I made a friend right away. Oh, all that to say, I do wonder if we're going to end up fighting a deity of some sort. That's where the whole dream association came from. Because what do you mean you manifested? What do you mean you were a baby? He's so adorable. What do you mean you were a baby and then you grew up and you became, like, how does this work? What is your aging process like? Let's see. I made a friend right away. It was always darting around, so I named it Darty. So it's like he was fully conscious. Same thing with Bakugabi. It's like they're born small, but they seem to be, like, fully conscious and sentient. Like, if he was able to name it Darty at this size and this age, like, he had intelligence. I don't know. It was always darting around, so I named it Darty. I didn't have a school to swim with. Oh. So, see, like, once again, clearly they're at least somewhat bestial. Because, like, why would that be an instinct? And notably, he's the octopus. Well, I think octopus packs are a thing. Hold on. Do octopus? I believe he's an octopus. Octopus swim in packs. I thought they were solitary creatures. Swim in packs. No, octopus. Yeah, they're generally solitary animals, but some species live in groups. So maybe there's one of the species of octopus that lives in groups. But even then, he's the only Kizashi. There's not like he doesn't like have a family. What do you mean? I didn't have a school to swim with. That man was alone a lot. So like, what does that mean? Why do you have that instinct? Like, I don't know. It's interesting. I know he's a more bestial of the Monjiks, but still, I have no idea what happened. Oh, but I see. So he once did it. So darn. So Chrono must, like, I mean, unless we're getting context for someone else having done it to him. Maybe he fought the World Hater for a while, because he was down to, what, 330? He was in the 300s when we saw him. He was, like, at 315. He got knocked down to 314 after the Inizuri by Ichi. So someone took 600 of his lives. I'm assuming that's what this backstory is about. Dory got separated from school, too. So we got along great. School, too. But, like, does that imply you had a school? Like, buddy, pal, I'm so confused. Like, what do you mean? Let's see. The two of us went everywhere together. We swam together, played together, ate together. Interesting. So, I'm not sure if he just grew really, really fast, or if Darty's a really, like, I'm not sure how long fish live. Like, how long did it take you to get to this size, Kizashi? Like, he literally grew full-scale arms and hands and massive in size. But interesting, though. I'm assuming he developed his hatred for the weak because Darty died. If I had to guess, let's see. Oh. Flopped on the sea floor together? Oh! Here's the thing. I can't obviously relate to this directly because I wasn't friends with the fish, but as a person who's always been, like, large and strong, obviously, I'm much stronger now than I've ever been prior. Like, I think I am, like, at least, I'm not at my leanest, but I'm at the, and I don't think I'm as fast as I was when I was younger, but very specifically, in terms of, like, just raw physical strength, I'm the strongest I've ever been right now in this moment. But I've always been just big and naturally strong, so I haven't, like, slaughtered anybody, but there are times where, like, because of how I am, I've always been, like, a physically affectionate person, where I have, like, sometimes I've gripped people's hands too hard, sometimes I've, like, slapped people in the back too hard, sometimes I've gone to lift people up and thrown them too high, even when I was younger, because people were smaller than me a lot of the time. I grew very, very fast. Like, I hit, like, my peak height years ago, well, I'm trying to think relative to, like, early, when I realized, like, when I fully had the realization, oh, okay, I can't just do certain things with certain people because they're weaker. But not even in the sense that, like, they're massively weak, it's just, like, I hurt them easier. So I do understand somewhat of Kizashi's general mindset of, like, man, kind of, it's not fun. And notably, I'll admit, now that I have friends who are, like, strong enough that they can, like, throw me around, which is still insane. Like, I'm 230 pounds. It should not be this easy for them to just, whoo, like move me, but you go that you're like, you meet strong people, or you just hang out around the right people and you meet strong people. So that's the, it does hit a little bit different. I understand Kizashi's, like, desire to surround himself with the strong, because in a way it's like it's a different way. It's a different way you can interact, and especially if you and the other people that are, like, comparable to you are in that same physical strength range, like, then you don't even think about it. Like, you can smack each other in the back as hard as possible and you barely flinch. It's fun. I get that. And notably, since Kizashi was so much stronger than Darty, he accidentally crushed and killed Darty. I cried for ages. I cried and cried and cried, and when the bitter tears finally stopped, it hit me. Wasn't it Darty's fault for being... But see, like, that I disagree with. I'm never gonna fault... And, like, notably, there are layers to this. In the general sense, like I mentioned, I was born strong. Funnily enough, I actually wasn't. I was born relatively, like, normal size / tiny. And I had jaundice as a baby, apparently. So, like, I was very, very tiny, but apparently I bulked up super duper quick. Like, to the point where when I was, like, young and toddlering around everywhere, my mom started calling me Bam Bam from the Flintstones, because I was apparently just abnormally strong for a baby of my size. And I've been abnormally strong all my life. But notably, I don't ever think it's anybody else's fault that you weren't born strong. Okay? You have other advantages that I don't. I know many people who are physically weaker than me that are more intelligent than me, more skilled than me, more dexterous than me, have better skills. But, like, it doesn't matter. These things, like, I feel like I'm quoting Mewtwo a lot recently, but the circumstances of your birth do not define you 9 out of 10 times. There are some cases where they literally do, like where you are born and stuff like that. But at least in terms of, like, your innate biology, how strong you are at base, it doesn't necessarily matter. And once again, if you take me from right now and take me from 2 years ago, I would violate that version of me, despite that version of me being, like, bigger and technically stronger, quote unquote, because I just had more mass. Mass was mass, right? Not really. I was really, really big 2 years ago. You can see it in my early videos. It's massive. Well, actually, I think it's out 3 years ago. It'd be about 3 years ago. That's the thing. I was humongous, but I was weak as all get out. I'm now much smaller, or not much smaller, but like a decent degree smaller, and I'm much stronger. I would watch that version of me. So, like, obviously, there are ways you can progress your strength, get stronger, get faster, get more durable, get healthier. But even then, I don't blame people who don't do that because of external circumstances either. So I don't think it's anyone's fault for being weak. And if you want to become stronger, you have the means to become stronger, then I suppose it could hypothetically be your fault for staying weak. If you have the means, though. But I'm not going to blame someone who was born weak and doesn't have the capacity to become stronger for being weak. And I'm not going to blame someone for things they can't control. You don't control how you are made manifest into this world. Obviously, we were made manifest by birth. But, like, it's not something you control. I don't think you or me or any of us asked to be here, but we're here now, so we're vibing. That's how I see it. Let's see. Wasn't it Darty's fault for being weak? It sounds like I could change how strong I was. You could hold back, though. And you can be gentle. You can be, like, no, just because I'm a lot strong, like, I'm very specifically thinking of my tiny friends. Like, my one friend who's, like, 5 foot, 110 pounds soaking wet. Like, there are multiple times, especially now that I've gotten stronger, I can literally just grab her in one arm, like, and, like, barrel carry her. And it's hilarious. But notably, if I do that too hard, I could hurt her. But I don't. I'm just like, I'm very ginger whenever I am physically interacting with her, or whenever I do dap her up, or whenever I do shake her hand, or when I do anything like that. Because I know she can't take that. You can hold back your own strength. That's a bad, I mean, obviously, this is clearly Kizashi coping rationalization, but very specifically, there's no excuse. The strongest guy on the planet could hold a baby with ease. That doesn't mean they have to worry about the baby weight. Like, that's the thing. I don't think that's an excuse. It's not like it could change how strong I was. If something was so weak it accidentally gets killed, that was its own fault. I was super duper sad, and it was all the weakling's fault for being weak! Okay, so he hated on the weak because he himself was too... He lost one of the weak that he actually cared about. In his case, it was a fish. But... I mean, and that is unfortunate. And Kizashi is just seemingly very childish. But still, currently at this point, is 999. So I'm assuming we're going to see him probably fight the World Hater. Right? Like something... And that's going to, like... The thing is, though, if he did get humbled, right, to lose over 600 of his lives, I genuinely wonder, how on earth did he ever think he was, like... I don't get how you become the weak. And then not realize, oh, there's always a bigger fish. Oh, I'm not actually that guy. I can be one of the weak too. Like, notably, like I mentioned, I was always strong, but I've mentioned this before as well. Weird age gap between me and a lot of my cousins. When I was young and I was rambunctious, I tried to fight one of my bigger cousins. They literally one-shot me. And by one-shot me, I mean like just yoinked me up. And like, really, pencil? That's all you got? I was like, I always kind of subconsciously knew my dad's stronger than me, my mom's stronger than me, but like they never diffed me like that. But I was like, oh, okay, darn, like that smacked some humbleness into me. But it seemed like it didn't work for Kizashi, or maybe he's coping. Maybe once again, maybe he got humbled, yet he's still coping about being strong, which he is. I'm not saying he isn't, but like comparably to whoever took 600 lives off him, whether it be Prime Chrono or the World Hater, or who knows, maybe even Hitsugi, like. Whoever did it, and probably currently Uro, dude, you're weak. You can be weak too. You can be weak too. Let's see. It's all that weakling's fault for being born. Oh, right, for being born. For being weak. I don't ever want to be sad like that again. I'll only be friends with the strong. If you're strong, then you have the right to call yourself my best bud. That's the thing. I'm like, I get it, but I don't believe the weak should be persecuted because they are not strong. I think if anything, at most, if you're strong, leave the weak alone, and then you can hang out and mess with the other strong if that's all you're about. But notably, I don't know. I don't value my friend group by strength. I know they're like, I'm thinking, I'm probably like the seventh strongest person in my friend group. And there's a massive gap between me and number 5, for reference. Like, I'm probably, like, relative to 6 and 5. 6 and 5? Or, let me think. I'm relative to 6, at least. 5, I think, would also just be able to whip me, because they actually know how to fight. They are strong, and also know jujutsu. Not jujutsu. So, like, they would actually whip me. But, like, notably, they don't devalue me because I'm weaker than them. And then the same vice versa. Of the many people I know and would either call acquaintances or friends, I could probably, like... I'm trying to think of a specific group of people. I could probably, like, diff, as in, like, one shot or at least low diff, like, 5 people I know. does that mean I disrespect them? No, I don't get that either. Like, the beauty of life is variance. We'll see. And that's why I'm shivering right now. Is that excitement or fear? I can't tell. He's smiling, but he's sweating. I've just run into... So wait, but then how did the world hitter recruit you? I'm so confused. Oh, that only... Uro, you're running out of time, buddy. That's only... What? 9 deaths? Let's see. I've just run into someone who could be my bestest bud of all time! Oh, so he's excited. So he was shivering from excitement. But you know what? I like to imagine that a decent part of this is like a mix of excitement and fear, right? Like, it's almost like it's when you meet a challenge, but it's a challenge, you know, if you fail it, there are consequences. Like, notably, I don't do I smile when I'm nervous? I'm not sure if I could say like I'm a nervous smiler, but very specifically, there are many times in my life where I know I'm at a crossroads point. And notably, as a person who likes challenge, who loves to, especially when I was younger, I was even more challenge cracked then than I am now. But I would run into things, I was like, okay, this is going to be extreme diff. And if I fumble, it's over. So I would like get excited, but I'd be shivering, right? I get that idea of like, your body and your subconscious is like, this is bad, this could go really, really bad. But the active mind is like, this is really, really good. And I think that's what Kizashi's in right now. Let's see. You know, that's one messed up trial you've got. Uro, you only got 5 minutes, gang. You ain't got time to be talking to him. You talking fast and light? Ichi-the-witch upscale? No, let's see. You know, that's one messed up trial you got. Right? Just gotta kill you, but you don't die. I'm super proud of my regeneration. Thanks so much for killing me a ton, your majesty. So, but then has it just, but then how are you one of the world hitters 7 stars? I thought that flashback was going to continue into him running into the world hitter for the first time. Because we know he started off with 199. Who took 600? Was it, who is Chrono? Has Chrono been bullying this man for years? Like, how long does it take? I'm super proud of my regeneration. Thanks for killing me a ton, your majesty. I think I figured out how it works. Oh, I think I figured out how it works now. So, okay, so he even though he was a master of all the world's magic, he still had to test the trial itself. So let's see what Uro's response is, because he obviously is noticing the counter go down. So I'm not sure if that lines up. Like, he was at 314, he's now at 305. So if I were to go to the last chapter and check, let me see if we would actually have 9 deaths in last chapter, because he's at, let's see, okay, so now, so this should count as 1 death. So it should be down to 313. Let's see. 2 death, 3 death, 4 death, 5 death, 6 death, 7 death, 7 death, 8 death, 8. So, 1 hypothetically is missing, but who knows what he did off screen or this chapter, because he's on the ground again. So like maybe there is a 9th death. It's close enough that I think it is meant to be intentional that he lost that amount specifically. Let's see. I think I figured out how it works now. So, what about getting vaporized? I heard there's a way to destroy magics regardless of their trial. If I break you down all the way to the cellular level. See, so man, this universe is dumb, stupid, and bad. I don't know why I thought this was like a medieval time thing. No, but yo, why you got it all? Why Uro wear Ichi's face so well, dog? I can't even lie to you. Let's see. But that's interesting. I heard there's a way to destroy magics regardless of their trial. How? But where did you hear that from? Who told you? Was it maybe that technically is what he thought that the world hitter was going to do to him? That's interesting, though. I heard there was a way to destroy magics regardless of their trial. If I break you down all the way to the cellular level, can you still regenerate? Okay. So Uro at least has cellular level attacks. And that's interesting, because that implies that Descaros didn't. If that is true, if you can't actually completely bypass a trial to destroy a magic, that means Descaros is at least somewhat relative to the world hater, but she does not have a large enough scale attack, or at least an attack that goes down to the cellular level, that could erase the world hater. So yeah, that's clicking. So I wonder, in that case, does she even have something that could do that to Kizashi? Maybe not. Because notably, a lot of my fellow Death fans in last week's episode were like, wait, we gotta rationalize this. And a lot of the way we were rationalizing Kizashi in their trial, and like very specifically Descaros not diffing him, and very specifically Descaros like being held in the string of Origuma at all, instead of just breaking out and like attacking anyway. The reason she's probably not attacking Ichi Uro is 1, because she probably figures he's undergoing a pack right now, and 2, she cannot truly harm Ichi Uro without also slaying herself, possibly she makes a mistake. So I get that one. But for Kizashi in specific, her wanting to retreat from Kizashi, it is, a lot of us rationalized it as Kizashi's attack scale is so large that unless she was consistently, like, doing what Uro is right now, right, just keeping the pressure on Kizashi to the point where he can't even fight back, then Ichi could die while he was knocked out. Gokuraku could die. Chrono Weaver probably would just get damaged but not die, but Minerva could die. Kamugi would die. Like, essentially, Jigishirone, like, all these, there are too many people around. So Descartes is probably likely above Kizashi. She could probably defeat Kizashi, but not defeat Kizashi while at the same time worrying about the other innocent. She would essentially have to ask Chrono, take them away from here as far as possible. I need to dip this thing by itself. But obviously, she was like, it's just safer to retreat right now. But let's see. Huh? Oh! If you vaporize me super hard and destroy me, and I can still regenerate from that, then... Then what? Would you become... I didn't even get to resist this. Yo, if I wasn't gonna do... I'm literally building... I'm fine. This week I'm gonna lock in. I'm gonna build all the Twitch emotes. Fun fact, stream every Friday at 8 p.m. That guy with the controller. So, roll through if you ever want to. But... currently playing, I'm Silk Songing it. That's, like I mentioned earlier with the Nightmare, I think it's literally the Silk Song cutscene and, like, the light coming down, like, boss fight? That's why my brain was like, hey, higher beings, can we fight those? No, we could. But, with it being the case, this, if I wasn't so focused on using, like, some of my own, like, video reactions and clips for emotes, this would be one of my emotes, dog. Why is he smiling like that? I bet he's mad insulted, though, because let me see. Would you be kind enough to not just be my friend, but be my best friend? But you know, that's it. I guess he must not know about the counter. I don't think he knows about the counter. For one, because one, he doesn't seem to fear death or like capture or anything like that. But very specifically, there's a very interesting relationship to have with like your own mortality. Or like specifically pain. But notably, I've mentioned this before. I think I even mentioned it last week, but I'll quickly bring it up again. If you gave me, like, Kizashi level, or Wolverine level, or, maybe not Deadpool, because that comes with a lot of other side effects, but, like, Deadpool level regeneration, or, like, even, like, let's say Bond's immortality, right? Say you gave me the Fountain of Youth from Seven Deadly Sins, and I got Bond level immortality. I also would just, like, I would aisle out, too. I want to fight everything, too. Please, try it. Like, notably, I would want to see it. So, like, I do get it to some degree. Like, that part of me, like I mentioned before, I would be fighting in the forest with the grizzly bear. And yes, please help the bear. Like, I would want to try it too. But let's see how Uro responds here, because I highly doubt it. Oh. Well, I mean, not immediately. So is this actually a smile of approval? I don't know. This is a hard reaction to read. Like, this seems like a smile that's like, I don't know, beat the taste out of your mouth just for asking that. But let's see. Fire away, your majesty! Uh-oh. Oh. Ichi, you really should have told him to be more careful. All those fish are dead. Darn. All the fish are like, oh, you know, what's going on here right now? Let's see. Fire away, your majesty! That's the spirit. Okay. Look at all these innocent fish. They're like, oh, yo, what's going on here? Look at, but you can see the water superheating too. Uro Ultra Amped so you have Uro Amped and then Ultra Amped. So this is presumably Uro's possible full power, maybe? And you can see so in fact, is Inazuri himself holding it? Like you can see that. Oh, and this is technically him for the first time using, he himself actually infusing himself with the magic willingly and not being used by Ichi. But it looks like Inazuri himself is like holding up. Oh, actually, is this meant to be? It may be meant to be. No, this is meant to be Kizashi. I think that's meant to be Uro. So this is the first time he's actually using a magic's like infused himself, and it's ultra amped instead of just Uro amped. And Inazuri may actually be holding the ship itself in the bubble. He's got it! He's got too much aura. It's literally overflowing. It's bleeding off the bed. Way too much aura. Okay, he just sacrificed a lot of it. Oh, but see, that's what I mentioned. That's cool. I like that. Since this is the first time he's actually properly infused himself with one of them, and not been forced to infuse himself, his whole design changes. So I'm assuming that's a bit, so that's interesting. He does truly, so that's why Urowashi said all that time ago, oh, it was an honor to merge with you, King Uro. he does truly merge with them. So technically, this is a 3-part consciousness, right? I mean, Ichi's level of consciousness here is debatable, but it's Ichi who's providing the base physical form. Then it's Uro who's providing the Giga Amp. Ooh, I like that sword design too, the lightning sword. Then, yo, someone count this. Someone count this. Someone count this. This gotta at least be mountain level. This is just, we have Soul Link JJK. But he has the base Ichi body. Then Uro himself is still in control. You can tell by the teeth and stuff like that. But then you see the black hair goes white. The collar becomes more and more puffy. In fact, yeah, the collar becomes more and more puffy and sparked up. And he even, like, his claws get exaggerated and stuff like that, and they come longer. And then he has the feet, he has the claw feet. So he does literally infuse himself with the Magics in order to use their ability. But we saw before, he can use their powers, like Deskros can use their powers without manifesting the Magics, right? Because he was using Inazuri, the lightning spell, then he fuses himself with the Inazuri, and then gets the blast. The fox goes, yip yip. I'm assuming that's Inazuri's influence there, dog. I don't know, I was talking about all the aura he has here. And this is a fantastic, man. Sasaki Sensei. What are they feeding you? The fox goes, yip yip. And he's moving too. That's the thing. The only thing that sucks is that Kizashi isn't even fighting back. That's the only thing that's kind of sad, but maybe he'll fight back soon. We're only halfway through the chapter. Darn. Yep. But yeah, Deskros did at least. Oh, that's so cute, Chrono protecting Minerva. But Deskros did free everyone from the Origumo magic. So, like, she is still able to at least deal with the regular. But, like, now I do wonder, how would Deskros deal with something like this? Could one of her barriers tank and survive this? It was only at full power, but, like, ooh, that's crazy. Yeah, he's tweaking. He just like me, for real. Let's see. Oh! He really did. So darn. His consciousness exists even down to the cellular level. That's crazy. But there we go. We have an attack, and that's real small. I mean, it's not down to like the atomic level of like what Gojo can perceive and manipulate with Curse energy, but still, a cellular level attack. That's crazy. Oh, he really did vaporize me down to the cellular level. This feeling. This must be what it's like to be BFFs. I want to go talk with my new best bud. But I don't have a mouth. Darn. Okay, interesting. So not all of his cells have his consciousness, but there's like one core cell. So this is probably like a neuron, or like whatever, one of his brain cells. Let's see. Hang on a sec. I'll regenerate. Then we can get to know each other. I promise I will. He's about to die, isn't he? He's about to completely die. So we're gonna go beyond cellular level. Ah, this feels too good. I really want to cut loose. I want to kill more. I want more. Where's the closest harbor? I think I'll go 600. Wait a second. Isn't that breaking? Oh, because he fused with the Inazuri, does that not count as breaking the pact? Oh, he did. Wait, Ichi did. See, that's the thing. So there was a loophole. Ichi did say, don't harm anyone. Let's see. You attack nothing outside the octopus magic. No, but any nearby creatures. I can't track every living thing around us. Chrono Weaver. Yep. Ichi thought. So Uro did find a loophole. Because Ichi thought there's no way he can launch an attack that far. In that case, technically Uro's not breaking the pact here. Alright, I get it. But let's see. Will Ichi be able to interfere with this? Or is Ichi going to get a mass amount of blood in his hands? Let's see. And I wonder if even this is also part of Inazuri influencing Uro. Because remember, Inazuri was also a human hater. He wanted to start frying humans. So I wonder if this is even part of him that's like driving Uro forward on top of his own base instincts. Because clearly he is being affected somewhat by Inazuri. Will they be able to escape in time? Because I'm about to send them a thunder squall of death. I'm assuming Deskros has to stop this, right? There's no way she's going to let her son do this. Oh! Okay, so even Ichi himself was able to stop it. All right. So, I mean, technically, though, that's impressive. So that's a sheer testament to Ichi's, like, raw willpower. Because technically, Uro wasn't about to break the pact. Since Ichi conceded to the fact that other living things could be harmed, that doesn't necessarily break the pact. But the second he goes to slaughter unnecessarily using Ichi's body, it's like Ichi's very instinct is like, stop it! And I bet Ichi definitely wasn't even happy with Uro vaporizing all these fish. Because that's still, like, that's not useful to anybody. But let's say. Oh, and that's cool. It's like Uro literally inside Uro, inside the magic circle. I'm assuming like Uro when he consumed Ichi last chapter, it was literally like, okay, I'm gonna hold him, and he's gonna barely be able to pay attention. But it seems like possibly Ichi's base instincts like, no, no, no. Let's see. Oh, interesting. He even bleeds. He even bleeds from that. So like, did Ichi stab himself? Darn feral brat. Okay. He's kicking, so he's literally breaking free. So he can feel it. He can feel it. So even the Ichi wasn't able to see what's happening, he can kind of sense what's happening. And I like, notably, a while ago, I had an idea to do a skit of like, what if I was possessed by Sukuna, right? But I had this stupid idea. But I literally had the same like resistance that Itadori did. And like in that skit, there was only going to be a moment that like essentially what happened with Geto and Kinjaku and Shibuya, where like I'd be hit with. What a good physical form. I can... Really? You would even strangle yourself? Yeah, like it would essentially be something like that, where through that control over my own body, I'd feel malice building up, and then boom, I'd stop myself. Of course, with the little thing of control, which would be my own hand. But Ichi's literally booting himself out of the Uro pact. But I wonder, will this immediately knock him out again for 3 days, or will he be in control temporarily over the fused body? Let's see. Stop! Not yet! Too soon! Get back in there! But that's the thing. Does that count? Like, how many deaths was that for, Kizashi? Was that just one? Get back in there! Time's up! Oh, it's time. So yeah, that's the thing. So Uro actually did fumble the bag. He wasted too much time. So I thought Ichi was actually kicking out early. No. 5 minutes has passed in universe. So yeah, Uro wasted too much time. So as usual with characters of his archetype, it was his own indulgence and his own hubris that led into the point where Ichi, who seemingly was actually genuinely physically suppressed based on the nature of the pact, he ran down the timer. So that's actually good. That's good. Uro, he still has a lot to learn. He has a lot to develop. And especially considering this is his first time ever being captured, presumably. Unless we get backstory that there was a previous host of Uro, which I highly doubt, really highly doubt, then he while he understands the magic system and he knows the pact system very, very well, he took and build in that loophole, right, where he could have gotten away with this. Since this is his first time like experiencing freedom, he doesn't have a concept of time properly, so he loses. What's it? Time's up! No, darn it! Not yet! My freedom! Let me out! No! No! Go! Alright. That's the thing. Is Kizashi going to be able to regenerate? Oh! Interesting. Interesting. So that spit out wasn't blood. It was the core of Uro acting as the possession point, like the gook that we see in Ichi popping out. All right, so he kicks free of the feathers and his real physical form spits out Uro. He's detransforming. I hope you go down, darn you! And then Ichi's in midair recovering. But I don't know, man. Unless that counted as like what 309, 308 deaths. I think Kizashi's fine, man. I think someone's still gonna have to take care of that. And I do hope. Like this chapter kind of gave me a little bit of false hope with this flashback in the opener. Who took it? Am I just meant to believe it's Chrono? Was it just supposed to be Chrono? Like Chrono is the one who took all those lives? Or I feel like there must be some time where Kizashi met the World Hater, fought him endlessly, and was reduced to this point. There has to be. I hope we get a flashback of that for Kizashi. I want to get more World Hater content, not gonna lie. Because Uro just seems like an infinitely more interesting character right now. But overall, AW chapter. Once again, my only critique, though admittedly it's barely a critique because I understand what we're doing narratively. Right now, this is all meant to just be Uro Glaze, right? Showing us Uro's power and what eventually will be Ichi's power, right? One day, probably, I don't know, maybe I'm just speaking stuff into existence. Let me look at my toe a little bit. Maybe like 300 something chapters into the future, which will be like 6 years from now. Years upon years into the future, this will be Ichi. That's what this is meant to be. This raw level of power and force and control, this will all be Ichi. Ichi will grow into strong enough of a witch where he can manifest Uro's powers, take another Magic's abilities, infuse them with himself, and use them. Okay, this has to be a feat. Someone calc this. This has to be a feat. Now I'm looking at it. But regardless, in fact, let me go full page for a second. I want to see how big this is. Is that calculable? There's no scale. There's no way to tell. There's no way to tell because of the scale. But very specifically, and I guess that is also like an implied range feat because closest harbor 600 miles south. So Uro amped Ichi, or Ichi Uro, or Uro. Yeah, I think Uro Ichi. He has 600 miles worth of range with Ichi's already. So that's actually pretty impressive. But all that being the case, a fantastic chapter. My one issue, Kizashi not fighting back. Kizashi completely acquiescing to being the weaker one here and getting bullied. That's not any fun. And unfortunately, I was kind of hoping we get at least a little back and forth. We aren't really getting much back and forth. And presumably, with Kizashi possibly not dying to the regeneration thing and possibly only losing one life. Like, remember, right now, he's at 304. He could only go down to 303 after regeneration, right? Because now he's choosing to regenerate. So we'll see. Maybe he doesn't regenerate. Maybe that counts. Maybe that blew off a whole bunch of his lives, and now the team's going to have to gank him down to get that last life for Ichi. But regardless, a W chapter. A W chapter. If you haven't always seen this video, please leave Foxy Fiend, because why not? Yo, shout out to the person who leaves all the passwords. Like that. That's a perfect reference. In fact, after this review, if they copy it again and put it down there, I'm gonna make a note on that comment and make sure I never repeat a password. That's good to have. But leave Foxy Fiend in the comment section down below. I would like to thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you hit that little notification bell so you do not miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, you can have a Patreon down below where you can support me first as $1 $1 a month to get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member to the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks include the live reactions to every other series I have to review, and variations of all my videos, and on top of your name at the end of literally every single video. If you are a $3 patron or a $3 member or anything higher, you'll get your name sent aloud at the end of every video. And you can also become a $25 patron or $25 member in order to get things like your own full-length video, or if you want to just drop 5 beans or become a $5 patron, you can get a video that is short, probably like 1 to 2 minutes, 1 to 3 minutes, really depends on what you want and how much I need to cover in it. And also, I would like to thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Zero Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Glacier XZ, Zera, Brandon Payne, J2MA, Guillaume, Buddha Uda, Alex Kenny, Enzo, Swift Strike, Superflame Zero, Yuki Ally, Azo2404, Strike Man, Grim, Straw, Ollie, The Boy, Corey Watson, Damon Brown, Magic, CCC, Official Popeyes, Ramondo Furen, Create Panem, Serafiel, Dino, Axis XC, Plant Crone, Pickle, Heath Nelson, Hector Gonzalez, P-Sub, and Black Sage. Then I'd like to give a thank you to our line art tier patrons: A+A, Kevin Encarnacion, Dread Zoan, Sean, and Midnight Lord 21. Then I'd like to give a thank you to our Ink tier members: King RTX and Shrimpo the 4 Shrimp 06. Then I'd like to give a thank you to our digital art tier members: J Warrior and AZ Void. Then I'd like to give a thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Walkie Munoz and Walkie Munoz.